Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Season 4 in the Pokemon Premier League, the PPL. My name is CBAD, coach of the Detroit Steel Wings, and we are breaking down a draft today, baby. It feels like it's been so long since I've done singles content. I am super stoked to hop into this. If you guys are excited, leave a like. If you're brand new, never seen this type of content before, what the hell are you doing? Click that subscribe button. We got plenty of Draft League content coming your way over here. Lots of great coaches in this league. Definitely check them out in the description down below so you guys can check out the battles each and every Saturday, I believe, asterisk. If I need to edit this in post-production, you'll see a note on the screen somewhere, and if not, then it is Saturdays. But draft analysis time, baby. We're going to start talking about my team, and your boy got first overall. That's 2 leagues in a row that I've had first overall, so we're gonna see what happens moving into it. But the tides are turning, the winds of favor are at our sails, something like that. I got my assistant coach with me. She's taking a nap. She's exhausted. We've been plotting, we've been planning, we've been cooking, but lots of people need front offices. I just need my dog. So that being said, I want to hop right into it. This is, of course, a singles-based draft league. The Terra situation with this is that we are allowing a fair amount of majority of Pokemon to terrestrialize. There is a Terra tax on top of that. So a Pokemon is X amount of points, and then you have a certain allotment of points to designate to a Terra captain. So they are assigned 2 different prices, one in the original draft and then one really in your Terra bucket. We'll go through and talk about that as it stands because we do have what I feel to be a really solid choice in Terra Pokemon. But that being said, let's hop into some draft picks, man. First and foremost, overall, you know, when you're first, especially in a singles draft league, you want to grab the hardest hitting thing, like just like the most broken thing you can, because especially with this many coaches, it's going to be a while before the draft gets back around to you, and you want to make sure that you have the best bang for your buck. Coming back, of course, we'll go on ahead and have wheels where we can get a little bit of synergy as well. That'll always be a good thing. And the first Pokemon that I drafted for Season 4 of the Pokemon Premier League is... nobody's surprised, Dragapult. Dragapult is so good in singles. It is a Dragon Ghost-type Pokemon. It has the Clear Body, the Infiltrator, and the Cursed Body ability. Clear Body prevents my stats from being lowered, so if there's Sticky Webs, Intimidate, anything along those lines, not going to happen. Infiltrator, I can go through substitutes, I can go through screens. It's great. Cursed Body, 30% chance that if I get hit with a move, it gets disabled. I don't think I'll run Cursed Body too much, but who knows? Shenanigans will ensue. Great Pokemon. 600 base stat total, pseudo legendary, 120 attack, 100 defense, 142 speed. What? I mean, that's one of the fastest things on there that has like such diversity. I feel like when it comes to, you know, being a support mon with things like Thunderwave and Will-O-Wisp, hard hitting on the physical side with moves like Dragon Darts, Phantom Force, Outrage, special side Shadow Balls, Draco Meteors, Flamethrowers, and just fast. Just so fast. I mean, this thing is a great cleaner, has great cleaner potential late game, has some great breaking potential early game and mid game as well. And with this in mind, I want to start forming some cores. I want to get some synergy going here. Like I said, when we're doing the wheels, we can get some picks that are really going to balance us. So one of the best things that goes with a dragon type is going to be that Fairy Steel Dragon core. And the next Pokemon that I grabbed was Enamorus Incarnate, not the Therian, not the big one. I got the fast one with Contrary. Another very fast, hard-hitting Pokemon. Again, 580 base stat total, just well invested overall. 115 attack, 135 special attack, 106 speed. Has the Contrary ability and the Cute Charm. Contrary more than likely going to be ran. Any stat changes are inversed. So if I go for a agility with Contrary, my speed gets lowered by 2 stages. But if I go for a superpower with Contrary, my attack and my defense get boosted by a stage, which is really awesome. Tons of great coverage moves. You know, it can set up, if I do want to run Q-Charm, I can set up with things like Calm Mind. Lots of good coverage as far as Draining Kiss, Earth Power, Extra Sensory. I've got Healing Wish support, Iron Head, Moonblast, Mystical Fire. I get access to Outrage, which is really cool. Play Rough, Psychic, the signature move Springtide Storm, 30% chance to lower the foe's attack by 1 stage. Superpower, Tailwind, Taunt. Very fast, very hard hitting. Really helps to pair nicely with Dragapult as far as the fairy typing goes. I think they both work really nicely, and they both have really good speed tiers. Dragapult 140 plus, Enamorus 100 plus. So we've got some mons there. We want to have a little bit more diverse speed tiers there. But when it comes to a steel type, I don't really want something fast. I like a tried and true, like just sturdy, reliable steel type. And going into this draft, I really wanted to grab Pokemon that I've either never used before ever, or it's been a long time since I've used them. And this next Dragapult and Enamorus I have never used in Draft League. This next Pokemon I have used once in an Ultra Sun and Moon Draft League, I want to say. and there was a really fire turn of events where this Pokemon was battling its Mega form. I was able to go for like a Nature's Gift fire move and knock out the Mega. It was really cool. If I can find the thumbnail or the link anywhere, I'll be sure to share that if you guys want to watch a little bit of past history on the other channel, but we drafted Scizor. Now, Scizor, great Pokemon. Of course, it has Swarm and Light Metal. Swarm at a third or less HP. My Bug-type moves are boosted. Light Metal, my weight is half. Technician is what we're here for. The moves 60 power or less have 1.5 times power, including Struggle, meaning Bullet Punch, Stab Bullet Punch off the Technician is going crazy. It's got access to Setup in Agility, in Swords Dance, in Curse. It's a Defogger, which is great. Some very reliable hazard removal right out the gate there. It lost Roost this generation, which I'm really upset about. I really think, like, I always felt Scizor was like a must. I mean, obviously I drafted it third in our pick, but I always felt like it was like a round 1 or round 2, especially with still having Roost longevity. But now that it lost that, you know, it does become a little bit more frail. You can get your berries, you can get your support on there with like leftovers, protect, and things like that. But it did lose that. Now, granted, it does only have 1 weakness, and it's a 4 times weakness to fire, so a little bit better shape, but overall, you want to make sure that you're playing this thing to its strengths and not letting it get too weakened down early on. Knockoff Bullet Punch, it can set up with Iron Defense. It has access to Light Screen. It can go for Sub, Swords Dance, Tailwind, U-Turn. Very strong hitting Pokemon. Very reliable Steel type. Great reliable hazard removal as well. And this is when it's going to be a little bit before the draft comes back to us. Now, I feel we have a really good core, whether we run like a defensive Scizor, a Dragapult that might be a little bit more supported than an offensive Enamorus, whether we run like a very speedy Enamorus to clean late game, an offensive Dragapult to break mid game, and then like a defense, like a pivoting Scizor to kind of go between them with like some slow U-turns. I want to keep building on that and seeing how I can continue to support the team. And this is where I kind of dive a little bit lower into the tiers, but I do want to get some Pokemon that really synergize well together in their own rights. Again, I feel like that's the benefit of having the wheel, is I can grab 2 picks back to back that either fit with the team or they fit with each other, and they can continue to create a little bit of a cohesive part. Next Pokemon I drafted was Alomomola. Again, a Pokemon I've never used in Draft League, and it's always been kind of problematic for me because it's so hard to break sometimes. I mean, 165 base HP, that's huge. I don't know too many Pokemon that have a higher base HP than Alomomola. Let me actually, I actually want to check this now. As far as HP goes, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has the 5th most. It has more HP than Snorlax, Tinglu, Iron Hands, and Dondozo. It is only rivaled by Blissey, Chansey, Regidrago, and Satitan. It has more HP than Snorlax, Stellar, Terapagos, Dondozo. I mean, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy how much HP this thing has, which makes it a great candidate for Wish support. It does have the Regenerator ability, getting 30 or a third of my maximum HP rounded down when it switches out. So that's always going to be good to be able to bring it back to full health. You know, I did talk about how it has Wish support. We have another healing Wish supporter, which is going to be great. It's got your Scalds. It's got your, you know, your flip turns for momentum, things along those lines. It's got Baton Pass if I need to swap out without going for flip turn. But another cool thing about Alomomola is that it is going to be one of the Pokemon that is allowed to Terrastallize, and it is Open Terra. We have to disclose the Terra type at team preview to our opponent, but if a water type Alomomola doesn't work well and a grass type works better, or a poison type or an electric type, whatever that might be, I can turn Alomomola's weaknesses off and I can go into that other type and just provide a little bit, you know, some more fun shenanigans. If all of a sudden I think I'm in a little bit of a pickle and this Pokemon can really provide some additional support for the team, I can Terrastallize out of that weakness, hopefully, and just go into, you know, turn into a new type and go from there. Now, that being said, I love Regenerator cores. I love this. And actually, I told myself before I was first overall that I wanted to draft like a mono Regenerator team. Like I would like Tornadus Therian, Slowking, things like that. I really wanted to like just go all in on Regenerator, but I felt like that was a waste of first overall pick. So I still wanted to get a little bit of a Regenerator core, and I felt something that pairs very nicely with defensively with Alomomola is Hydrapple. Hydrapple is another Pokemon I've never used. It's got that Regenerator ability. Grass Dragon type Pokemon. It is 540 base stat total overall, 106 HP, 110 defense, 120 special attack, 80 special defense, 44 in speed. I'm never investing in attack or speed, which makes this one of my favorites. If you've been around the channel long enough, you know I love these stupid proof mons where I only have 4 stats I really need to put EVs into when building. Super, like just love it. Just love it. It can set up with things like Curse and Nasty Plot. It's got access to moves like Hydro Pump, Leaf Storm, and we can run physical if we want to do Gyro Ball, Earth Power, Earthquake, Draco Meteor. Reliable recovery with Recover, which is always great. It's got priority and Sucker Punch. And again, This Pokemon does have some weaknesses. Obviously, the 4 times weakness to Ice, which is resisted by Scizor, resisted by Alomomola. But if we need to terrestrialize into something better, we can. We have that ability to run a defensive or an offensive Terra type on Hydrapple. And I think just a very sturdy Regenerator core is going to be very pivotal in a lot of these matches. Just being able to build on some of the momentum that our team provides, take some hits, sponge some hits, hop on out, bring in one of our heavy hitters, and go from there. I love, if you've been around the channel long enough, you know, I do love some immunities. I do love, you know, I always think that that's very necessary, you know. Dragapult is immune to fighting and normal type moves. Enamorus is going to be weak to ground moves. Scizor is going to be immune to poison moves. Alomomola and Hydrapple don't have any immunities, but there's other natural immunities typing-wise that you want to make sure that you can capitalize on, because otherwise, if your opponent can identify that, they can just kind of take the ball and run with it and just steamroll you. So some of those immunities include electric types. Some of those immunities include ghost types. Some of those immunities include psychic types. You'll say psychic types, electric types, ghost types. You want to make sure that you've got your grounds covered from there. We have a great dual immunity with this next Pokemon here. And I have used this one, and I feel like I've used this one to some success. But again, this is back in probably the Oras days, maybe some Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon. I'd have to go back and really do my due diligence on that. But definitely for sure in the Oras days. I drafted Krookodile. Krookodile is just a very reliable mon, and frankly, we're going very top-heavy with this draft right now, but I think it pays out as the draft continues to round itself out here. Krookodile has some great abilities in Intimidate, lowering the attack by my opponent's attack by 1 stage. Moxie, being able to get an attack boost after it knocks out a Pokemon. Anger Point, not so much. If I do take a critical hit, my attack is raised by 12 stages, maxing it out. So, obviously, if you're a neutral, you can only go up 6, but on the off chance I'm at -6 attack and I get crit, Anger Point would take me all the way to the other end of that scale, which is super, super awesome. Being a ground type, we're immune to electric moves. Being a dark type, we're immune to psychic moves. No Volt Switch spam, no side spam, which is super awesome. Has access to set up with things like Bulk Up and Curse. Has access to hard-hitting moves like Close Combat and Crunch. It's a stealth rocker, which is great. We did not yet have any hazards available to us, so I think a very reliable rocker in Krookodile is awesome. Stab knockoffs are always good. Earthquake knockoffs, Shadow Claw, Smackdown, Stone Edge. Taunt users are always great, but really I feel like Krookodile again. Krookodile base 92 speed. We've got a little, we're running down into a little bit of the middling speed tiers. We're a little bit slower than Enamorus at 106, but we're still keeping good benchmarks on our speed, so that way our opponents can't really play too safe with just all outspeeding one or underspeeding another Pokemon. The next one that I grabbed here, frankly, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I think this was greedy of me. I do. I think this was absolutely greedy, but it was a Pokemon that was still available on the board. And I was shocked that it was still available, and I wanted it. I did. I've seen a lot of people use it to great success, and this was very greedy. This put me in a place where I really needed to get my points in line, because after this Pokemon, I've got 3 left, and I needed to make some key changes to the team and get some key Pokemon. And thankfully, I didn't get sniped for the rest of the draft after this, because there were some key holes that need to be filled. Very, very greedy of me. I understand that, but I drafted Quaquaval. Quaquaval, water fighting type, has the hidden ability Moxie, which similar to Krookodile, same thing. If I knock out a Pokemon, I get raised in attack stage. It is a rapid spinner. We have another reliable form of hazard removal. We have the signature move Aqua Step, which is going to boost my speed by 1 stage. Pair that with Moxie, boosting my attack by 1 stage. It's like a poor man's Dragon Dance, only it's not a poor man's Dragon Dance. It's like the Pepsi to Coke version of Dragon Dance, in my opinion. Has access to Baton Pass. Of course, we can't pass any sort of stats, but we can use that. We can also use Flip Turn to get out of there. We've got access to moves like Swords Dance and Bulk Up if we do want to set up. Brave Bird, Aqua Cutter, Aqua Step. We do have access to Acrobatics, Close Combat, Knockoff, Ice Spinner, Low Kick, Wave Crash, U-Turn, Triple Axle. Very hard-hitting Pokemon. Very hard-hitting Pokemon. And again, I was very, very, very shocked that it was still on the board. Quite honestly, this is what, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe. We're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This was 7. So this was end of round 6, beginning round 7. 6 rounds have gone through, and this Pokemon was still on the board. It is often seen as like an MVP on some players' teams, and I had to grab it. I had to grab it. Again, puts me into a little bit of a deficit, but I think we still have some key Pokemon that really continue to help us out here. That being said, as we come around, I don't have a good Ghost immunity. And I still want, one of the things in Draft League that you also want to make sure that you have is a grounded poison type Pokemon. Because if you don't have that, your opponent can just kind of set up Toxic Spikes freely. Yes, you can defog or spin them away, but at the chance of not getting in that right pivot, not being able to get that removal off. So you want that natural poison type just to be able to soak up those Toxic Spikes and go from there. So I grabbed Grafaiai, and I've drafted Grafaiai before, and I didn't end up using it, and I'm hoping that I can use it a little bit better this time around, now that I'm a little bit more familiar with its game. Poison normal type, so we do have the grounded poison type to take the poison spikes, the Toxic Spikes away. It is a normal type as well, so we do have a ghost immunity, which is great. 3 abilities. It has Unburden, so speed is doubled on held item loss, so things like any sort of gems, Focus Sash, eject pack buttons, things like whatever red card, whatever that might be. Berries, our Unburden will activate and our speed becomes doubled, which is great. Poison Touch, my contact moves have a 30% chance of poisoning, and then we also have Prankster. Prankster allows those status moves to have the priority raised by 1. Dark types are immune, of course, but we do have access to moves like Acrobatics. Acrobatics paired with Unburden can be a very strong, hard-hitting flying type move. We do have Prankster moves like that help support that, like Encore. We do have access to Foul Play, Gunk Shot, Knockoff, Low Kick, Prankster, Nasty Plots, and Parting Shots. Rest, we've got Prankster Rest with Unburdened Chesto Berry, could be something. Shadow Claw, Substitute, Super Fang, Switcheroo, Swords Dance, Prankster Taunt, Toxics. I'm a poison type. My Toxics will never miss, which is great. Lots of other really good moves that this thing can get access to. Its signature move, Doodle, user and allies' abilities become the target's ability, so I can take the ability from the opponent. I don't know when that'll come in handy, but watch me try it. Watch me try it. I think it could be something. It could be something. So, yeah, it did what it did for me, and I think it's got some really cool moves to help me out there. It's got some niche support with moves like Prankster. I've got very little points left, and I do want to get an electric type Pokemon. I don't have an electric type yet on the board. This Pokemon is, so Grafaiai we talked about, I've drafted, but I haven't used. So I don't count that. I don't count that. I'm gonna recycle that one. So next Pokemon, it's been a while. It's probably been like Oras Sun and Moon era GBA days since I've used this one, but I really liked it at the time, and I'm hoping that it hasn't lost its merit without the additions of hidden power moves. I do not have enough points in my budget to make this a Terra Pokemon, so I can use like Terra hidden power moves, however you want to look at that. But I drafted Magneton. Now, Magneton gives us another steel type, which is great because fairies just kind of go crazy. Being a steel type, it helps us out with some ice weaknesses that we do have on the team too. It is a not fully evolved Pokemon, so it does have it has the ability to tap into Eviolite, giving my defense and my special defense an additional 1.5 times boost. Magnet Pull, traps in steel types. Sturdy lets me live on 1 HP and immune to Oko moves. And then I have Analytic, where my attacks are an additional 30% if I'm the last to move in a turn. Having base 70 speed makes me feel pretty comfortable that Analytic is going to be the play to make 9 times out of 10. As far as it goes, I mean, if you've ever seen a Magneton or a Magnezone used, it does what it does, right? It's got access to screens. I can go for something like an Iron Defense. It does not get body press like Magnezone does, which is a little unfortunate. Discharge, Explosion, Flash Cannon, Dual Screens, Steel Beam, Thunder, Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave, Tri-Attack, Volt Switch. I mean, it does the standard electric moves that you want it to do. So if you want a Scarf, you toss a Scarf on there. If you need a Spexmon, you toss some Specs on there, and you kind of just let it rip from there. 120 base special attack. Still very hard hitting for where we're at in the budget. And I have 0 points left. I have 0 points left in the budget. And I have, I still have 1 more Mon to get. So what happens? Do I redo the whole draft? Do I get kicked? Do I get banned? Am I banished from Pokemon Draft League forever? You thought. We actually have a tier of 0 point Pokemon that are often not usable in any capacity. And if they are, it is super niche. I wanted to grab the Pokemon that gave me the most value at 0 points to finish out my draft, not just grabbing like Fuecoco would have been a good meme, right? You've got full screen. I've got Fuecoco. I could have grabbed one of the dogs back there as well. Not my dog. My dog's wonderful. Everybody say hi. Hi, Riza. I was going to see if she was going to look at you guys. She's not. She's seepy. I wanted a Pokemon that was going to do well for us. And right now with things like Grafaiai, with things like Magneton, I've got some Pokemon that do want to take a ground type hit, but really, I mean, Earthquake, yeah, having a check for something like Earthquake is always going to be great, right? And no, it was not like a Levitate user or anything like that. It was a Pokemon that I feel, again, could be pretty beneficial depending on the niche. I grabbed Swadloon. And I know that sounds interesting, but hear me out. On the biggest of hear me outs, 90 base defense, 80 base special defense with Eviolite, rivals the defensive stats of Magneton. Being a bug grass type Pokemon, it's got some weaknesses to things like flying, ice, fire, you name it. Very, very like heavy ground resist, which is great. It does have access to recovery and synthesis, so it can be a little bit of a wall there. It does have access to pivoting with Baton Pass. Of course, it's got things like Bug Buzz and Energy Ball if I want to do damage. It's got access to Light Screen, but it is also a free Sticky Web user. It is a free Sticky Web user, which is really why, like, one of the big reasons that I wanted to get this. It's got some speed control outside of that with things like Electro Web if we wanted to do that. It's got some more niche moves if we really wanted to run that, but being able to just like recover, Sticky Web, Baton Pass out, golden. For 0 points, are you kidding me? I had to. I felt like it was a really, really good, just overall, like I said, could have been like a, and because it was 0 points, I didn't have that many points left to my Terra budget. We can also Terra Swadloon, which will be great. I don't think I'll ever do that, but we can Terra Swadloon if we really, really want to. It could be something. I don't know. But that is going to be the team. That is going to be the team going into season 4 of the PPL. I really hope you guys are excited for this season. I am super stoked for this. This is going to be your traditional singles draft league. I think we have 8 or 9 weeks of this going back and forth. Top amount of coaches do make playoffs. I really hope we have the squad here to make that. Of course, if there are any changes to the roster along the way, we'll have our videos go in. We'll have the team builder, the battle, and if there are any free agency transactions, we'll discuss those before the battle. We'll have these going up weekly. And then in a few weeks, we'll also have our almost any ability draft league going up, which is going to be super excited. A little bit of a smaller league, smaller season, but that is going to be crazy. And I hope you guys are excited for that. But all that being said, leave a like if you've enjoyed, subscribe if you want more Pokemon draft league content in your sub box. And I want to remind you guys, as always, to be great and do great. And I'll see you guys next week for game day. Later.